Hi and welcome. These are just the small release notes of September. These video notes that I'm starting to do now for all of you. And September was a very hectic month for us because we had the Go Digital conference, and because of that we did not get as long sprints in or as many heavy sprints in as we really wanted. So this release will be a little bit smaller than you are used to. Now let's jump in and have a look at the changes we applied. Of course, I'm only picking the main changes that you will actually feel and that affects you. Some of the changes that we do are under the hood, and I won't be able to share those here. First off, we added a new feature to the page structure. So up here in Author, you will notice that under page structure, we already have that, lucky. We now have a functionality. If you click the overflow menu, you can now convert a chapter to a page, thereby actually nullifying the chapter functionality. So you can take an entire chapter, make it into a sub-page structure instead, and put it into a chapter. The same way you can go to a page on the chapter level like this, and you can choose that to then convert that to a chapter. So you can apply your page where you want it and then convert it to a chapter, so you don't have to add a new chapter every time. Let's see the other one we did. Oh yeah, we changed the layout for the compliance panels. So if we go to monitor right here and go to compliance, you will notice that this has changed a little bit. We added we increased the size of the print button because it was misaligned with the rest of our buttons, and we added a hide compliance links under headings. If you click that button, you will then see that the compliance link under the heading disappears. So that can now be used, and because we added those, then we needed to remove some of the things we had in the bottom. So those things have been moved up into the filter. So if you click the filter now, you have the group by functionality there, and also you have the only outdated links there instead. So they were moved up in the filter as we created new functionality at the bottom. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense to you. We're trying to make this as intuitive as possible. Under the compliance libraries, if I jump in there now, you will notice that if I press checklist, we get the checklist as per usual, but we've actually added filters to the checklist. So up here now, you'll see that you can now exclude not applicable items, and you can also exclude AMCs. This way you can make the checklist a lot more lean and a lot more directed towards your auditor. The same thing here. Under the checklist, we also added new sources or a new source column, thereby both you, if you need to see the specific sources, or your auditor will be able to see the source of the latest update. We actually decided to activate the new menu for everybody, just to make sure that everybody has actually seen it, and some people had not understood that there is actually a whole new menu option. So in this release, we are activating the new menu for everybody, and if you're one of those people who decided it's fine, I don't need the new menu, I prefer the old one, then you can simply go down to Not Help Center, there we go, and then to turn off the new menu usage, and you'll be back in the old one. So do what you prefer. We're just doing this as a catch-all to get everybody on board, or at least give everybody a chance to be on board. Another thing in the new menu, up here in Documents, this button that allowed us to expand all categories had disappeared. We have now applied it back, so now you can expand and collapse your categories to your heart's content. And the last thing I want to talk about here today, just checking my list, is a bug fix that we did as well, because we did reintroduce a print button in the changelog. So if we go back to the document and go to our changelog comments, this print button down here has been reapplied. It had gotten itself hidden, or at least disappeared, and now we've gotten it back. We found it and we reapplied it, so you no longer have to look for it. Other bug fixes that we did, which I will not be showing, I will just be talking about, is one of them is that if you have a page with a revision bar, you can of course hide that revision bar, and pages that had that revision bar hidden would actually flag as a page with no changes on when you are searching for it in the warnings, and those pages could then be fixed and thereby auto reverted. Of course, that is not a optimal solution. So now even pages with hidden revision bars will not show up as pages with no changes. Another thing we did, checking down here, we fixed an issue that caused operational critical documents to be able to actually be opened as a reader. Of course, as a reviewer in the reader, of course you don't want your readers to be able to open your documents as a reviewer, as the reviewer functionality. They couldn't, of course, approve or anything, but still you don't want them to see that level. So we fixed that. Also, we fixed an issue that would cause the wrong workflow to be shown in some documents. That has been fixed as well, and the correct workflow should now be shown everywhere, depending on, of course, your document and the workflow used. And those were the release notes for September. I'm looking forward to bringing you some more in October, and I just wish you a wonderful day.